What's a piece of advice you've received from a child that was surprisingly insightful? Now most people know this advice, but occasionally tend to forget it. My nephew, for at the time, was asked what was more important, time or money. At this point in life, he was obsessed with the monetary value of things. He just started grasping that a car costs a lot more than his toes. And this was wild. He kind of stared in deep thought and finally decided, to everyone's surprise, time. He explained, if money ran out, you could get new money from the wall and ATM, but you could never get more time. Mic drop. Walks away to play with his toes. Schooled by a 4-year-old. Girlfriend's sister pranked her then 4-year-old by pretending the elf chose all the chocolates from his advent calendar. Truthfully, she ate them all when she was drunk. Next morning he comes down, sees the elf sitting at his little table, faces smeared with chocolate, and a few empty wrappers lying around them. The child's face just dropped and he didn't know what to do. He just gave a defeated they ate them all before spotting a small ABG of chocolate buttons and shouting they left me some, and started jumping for joy. I was talking to the neighbor's 10-year-old the day after they lost their best female sheep, and I asked why she was the best out of the 20 or so they had. Got to admit, I was surprised the kid knew anything about their sheep or the breed. He knew about the breeding program the other was running, and what things about the breed that made them valuable, and what makes a good breeding ewe. I learned quite a few things from him that day about breeding sheep. Though when we get to that point, I will be choosing his mother over him. Trying and failing, even repeatedly, teaches you more than never trying at all. I'll be 40 this year. All of my regrets revolve around never even trying, not knowing as a result. Obviously, you're going to miss out on so much because life is busy and there's only one you. Doesn't mean wasted opportunities to experience something new and different aren't regrettable. Comparison is the thief of joy, and likewise, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Rules for your own life and for what happy or successful means. And don't obsess or focus too much on small details when it's the bigger picture that you frame to make a life. And what makes work. Not exactly advice, but I was observing a piano lesson with a 4-year-old once. The boy told the professor, earlier, when I was a different age, I couldn't play this song, but now I know all of the notes. Professor, very good, Thomas. And how were you able to do that? Thomas, I made lots of mistakes. When I was 23, I scolded my 6-year-old nephew for dropping a drink. He said, I'm just a kid. It broke my heart. I apologized to him very sincerely recently, and I tried to change since that day. They're just kids, their motor skills and brains are still cooking, and it's just a drink. You're too careful. From a 2nd grade boy in the hallway whilst I was carrying various IT crap. Apparently he wanted me to squash his classmates walking nearby. I could easily squash, so more careful at school, less careful in bars. When you move, the first thing you set up is your bedroom. When everything is chaos, and you're exhausted from moving boxes all day, you have a place to crash that is ready for you. When you're old enough to vote, don't look for the politician that is going to screw you, because they are all going to screw you. Look for the one that will screw you the least. When he was 5, my son got glasses. He said, wow, things look different when you can see. I think about that about half the times I put on my glasses. My niece, aged 7 at the time, told one of her friends, I talk to my mum when I'm sad. Then I feel better. You should talk with someone too. Dude, you really need to calm down and stop overthinking stuff. I was all, how dare you say something so brave, and so true. Look both ways before crossing the street. It's probably saved my life once or twice over the years. It's not a vacation if you are visiting family. My nephew was wise beyond his toddler years. You need to get out of your own way. We are so often our own barrier to what we want. If it was easy, everyone would do it. My father, the retired engine machinist. If you're scared of doing something, it means it's something worth trying. Never trust anyone who talks with their eyebrows always raised. Girls pee out of their butts. Best advice I've ever received. All people are equal in dignity regardless of age and gender. I was told, it's not a you problem, mum. It's a them problem. Purple doesn't look good next to orange. She was right.